Hello, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to the Northern California channel. So now it's almost third week of October in Northern California. So what we'll see today is these are beautiful chili plants. Um, these are Thai chili. One of these is Thai chili, and this was another chili plant. That we planted, and then I basically put this outside in about summer of this year. It's been growing well. So what will happen is we are nearing winter season. Winter is around the corner, probably in about a month or so. So these plants grow pretty well when the temperature is the night temperature is above 50. So when it falls below 40, 45, or around less than 50, then it goes through some stress. So we need to overwinterize this, and basically I'm going to show you how to do it. And so what happens is we can overwinterize it and then plant it in the next summer or during spring next year, and it will start growing very well, and it will get a good head start, and we'll be getting more yield. So that's the process I'm going to walk through today. And so there is also one more plant I have. So I'm going to do the same thing for this pepper plant also right here. These are cayenne pepper that I planted this season. There's a lot of flowers, and there's a lot of chilies. So I'm going to show step by step how to overwinterize this. So you see there are a lot of peppers here, and so stay tuned. So please do click like, smash the like button, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, the first step I'm going to do is have a lot of chilies in this, and I'm going to pick all these chilies so that I can store it, and I can use it up. Okay, so that's the first step. Alright, so I was able to harvest all the chilies from the plants. So quite a bit of chilies actually. I think probably come for a month or so. These are all high spicy chilies. These are Thai chilies, and I was able to harvest as much as I can from the plants. I do see few of them still sitting here, and yeah, so that's going to be the step one. Okay, so the step two is take a nice clippers that are sharp, and basically you use hydrogen peroxide, and use a clean piece of towel to disinfect it, right? So basically there may be some bacteria and all that may be sitting here. So when you prune this plant, the chili plant, you don't want it to get infected, so you would need to kind of clean it with a nice piece of cloth. Right, so basically I cleaned up the clippers with hydrogen peroxide and clean piece of towel, and I know that there are no germs or bacteria on this that will infect the chili plant, so I can use these clippers now to clip it. So this is the step 2, and let's go to the step 3. So I have come back to the plants now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip off the stems here actually. What I'm going to do is so it's got a lot of leaves and everything, so during winter it's going to go into dormancy, and so I don't want this plant to be producing and or getting more energy. So all the energy has to be stored in the roots, and so what I will do is basically I'm going to take it and then I'm going to clip it off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave few branches and then a few leaves, and I'm going to clip it off, right? So you see here I'm going to use this branch. So this is a big branch right here, and this branch I'm going to cut it right here, right? So that next season I can get the pretty good growth, right? And same thing, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go do some clippings. What you do is when you do the clips, so you always cut it in 45-degree angle, so that the water or anything, if it sits on that, it will not go inside it, right? So it will kind of slide off. That's important. And I'm going to show you after I clip it off, and I'm going to show you how it looks. That's going to be the step 3. Alright, so you see here, so this is what I have done actually. So I've left these 2 branches, which are the main branches, right? The bottom branch you have to leave it, and then a couple of those branches which are the trunk is pretty thick, and then I left the one branch on the other side so that it kind of balances out. I don't want the tree, the plant to be leaning on one side. And then I basically left a few leaves on the top and basically removed everything else actually. So if you look at it, I made all the cuts at a 45-degree angle, and some chilies here I can take it out. So I basically put some neem oil, and as you see the neem oil is sitting on this, but they are okay, it should be fine. And just a few leaves on the top actually, right? So that's all. So that is basically the step 3. I've completed the step 3. So the step 4, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this plant from this actually outside, and I'm going to put it inside a pot actually, so that I can store it inside. So I'm not going to store it inside actually. So I live in California, in the northern California areas, zone 9B. So I'm going to keep it in the under the roof, but it's not fully covered. So I've seen this plant actually kind of sustained pretty well during last winter. So I'm going to keep it inside, and I'm going to see how it does actually, right? So next season I can basically plant it back here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the step 4 now. Alright, for the next steps you need is basically you need these two tools. You need a small shovel, and also you would need a something like this, a tool something like this, and then you need to have a pot with the soil. So I have all three. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So you basically clear up all the mulch and everything around this area. Clear up all the mulch. And basically what you do is you use this shovel and then put some pressure here, and then remove this plant actually with the roots. You need to get it with the roots, right? That's important. As you see here, so I basically cleared up all the mulch, and then used my little shovel to kind of put some pressure, and I was able to remove this this plant nicely. So it's got beautiful roots here. So I'm going to clear up this mud a bit, and I'm going to just basically plant it and water it. So this is basically the step 4. I've removed this with the roots. I'm going to clean it up and plant it back. So that's the step 5. Alright, so you see here, I've taken the plant out, removed the dirt, and then put it in a nice pot, and then filled with these are pretty good. This is a pretty good soil that I have. I removed the plant from this earlier, and so that is the step 5. So the 6th step, what I would suggest is put a little bit of a compost and a little bit of worm castings. If you have worm castings, a little bit of fertilizer, because this has gone through heavy pruning, and for the roots to kind of get the nutrients during winter. So you can put some little bit of a fertilizer there, so it will absorb, and then it will be ready for next spring to kind of grow really fast. And so make sure that you don't and the last step is basically thoroughly water it, and you need to make sure that the water doesn't stagnate in this. And it's very important watering during winter. It doesn't need so much water during winter, right? Because it is not growing. So I strongly suggest use a moisture meter and check whether the water is not sufficient, and then you put the water. And water I would probably say that once in 3 weeks or once in 2.5 weeks. It really depends on where you live, and so it doesn't really need much water. So make sure that you check the water, otherwise it will get fungal infection and the plant will die. So the watering is important. So the step 6 I'm going to do is I'm going to put compost, a bit of a compost, and then I'm going to throw some little bit of a fertilizer. I'm going to thoroughly water it and let the water drain out here, and then I'm going to go and place it in the area where I said. Okay, so I'll be right back, and I will show you what I'm going to do now. All right, so see here, I placed it in the sun, and I put some compost and fertilizer. I had the worm casting fertilizer. That's an organic fertilizer. So I put both of them, and gonna put it on the sun. I'm going to put water now. So water is an important step, and you don't want to skip the water, because you don't want the roots to dry out. The roots will die. So you have to water it thoroughly. Right, it got some good water, and I want the water to kind of drain out and then kind of place it inside. And one more step I would suggest is if you have mulch, just put the mulch on top of it, because what the mulch will do is it will protect the roots actually. The mulch will be like a protection layer on top, so it will make sure that the roots are fully protected when you have a hard freeze, right? So I would suggest, if you have mulch, just spray the mulch on top of it. Okay, that's all here today actually. So the same thing you need to do it for all your pepper plants, and hope you learned something today on how to overwinter your pepper so that you can get a head start. And I will show you another video on how to do a similar thing for your eggplants also. And stay tuned for updates on this and how it goes during the winter, and also when I plant it in spring. Okay, so please do subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.